Hey everybody, welcome to Soundcheck, channel where we talk about all things audio and learn from each other by discussing issue questions that we may have. And we also sound check for you, as the name suggested. And we have a room full of people. I think this is probably the fullest I've ever had for my brand new channel. And thank you all for quieting down and not stop the chit-chatting as I start the show. Thank you so much. Let's see, how many people do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So let's see if I can... I don't know if I've ever used this. Oh, Andy, you got our special guest. Andy, you gotta like scoot over a little.
There we go.
Oh, hey, wait, wait, I'm missing somebody.
Where did I go?
Where did you go? Okay, so we have 6 people. Oh, sorry, I miscounted.
Did you start the room? It doesn't look like you started the room.
Started which room? I did. Where Sean? Oh, Sean was. Okay,
Where'd I go?
What do you mean, where'd go? It's
where'd I go?
It's okay. Wait, I've miscounted as 6 people, so you all are now equal. So
there we go.
You are all equal now.
Oh,
wow. Okay,
nice.
so let me check on my processor, because the reason why I switched to Ecamm was because I would not be able to. My computer, my M1, would not be able to handle it. So the CPU. If I can share the desktop with you all, if I am good enough to do that. I don't know if I'm capable of.
Oh, so you're getting ballsy now. You got 7 people.
Wait, I'm hearing.
And we have mixed minors.
Arthur.
Mixed
there
plus. Okay.
Okay, so I am gonna switch to this and have you look at my processor. So I have an M1 machine. The CPU for the Ecamm Live Zoom is, it's just drop. But what happened was that it even though it shows like 100 or something, but look at the CPU load, it's actually not horrible here. It's working. The last time, whenever I had 6 guests, it would lock up my system on OBS and my software would crash. And I just don't. But the thing, even with Ecamm, to be fair, even with Ecamm, it was still locking up my system where I couldn't do I couldn't use my Stream Deck anymore because it was using too much processing power. But that's why I was so excited about the Zoom integration, because Zoom took care of a lot of those managing of those traffic that I don't have to worry about doing that anymore. But I want to say a very, very special warm welcome to our special guest today, Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hey, thank you so much for hopping on and joining me and the rest of us, because you may have seen my obnoxious questions popping up frequently on on our Facebook chat a lot. It's like, who is this? Remember, Charles, you were saying like, oh my gosh, when are they gonna ban me?
I think frequently is an understatement. First off, let's just throw that out there. But let me tell you, I have never been so surprised in my life when I saw John Ong, the no subscription, don't pay for anything, but suggests everyone else pay for something, actually sign up for a monthly subscription or yearly subscription. I was like flabbergasted. I instantly messaged him and I was like, is this really you? Is this your real profile? Am I seeing this right? And so, yeah, it was all leading up to the Zoom integration. And so it was great to see him jump in as part of the Ecamm fam and off of the screen capture to screen share to OBS.
I know. He was so annoyed
that he was on.
He was so annoyed by my process, right? I would do Google Meet, window capture Google Meet in OBS, and then if I want to switch to like a group grid to like a solo one person talking, I would have to switch it in Google Meet, so you can see my mouse go click switch view, layout.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I was like, "This is
it was
such
free."
So now we call that the John Ong effect. So if anybody is absolutely rednecking together some technology, especially when it comes to video production, we call it the John Ong effect.
Oh my God! Look at this happy family.
There we go. How about that?
We need some women, but
yeah, I was just thinking that too.
Oh,
Where's Janet? Where's Janet?
Okay, so yeah, that's right. She's probably working. But Andy, welcome to the group. I don't know how much you know about this, but I'm going to quickly, for your benefit and other people who might be tuning in this, who may not know about this whole Clubhouse thing that we've been doing. I guess everybody except for Glenn. Glenn I met through the forum, the Facebook forum for Ecamm Live. Everybody else I met through Clubhouse. And these are the folks that have always been a part of this learning. You know, I do a RØDECaster user meetup where talk about RØDECaster questions. I started that one because I bought a RØDECaster at that time during the pandemic. I didn't know how to use it. So I heard a lot of people talking about using RØDECaster. So I created a club so that people can come teach me how to use. That's how it started. And then, and then I slowly pick up information. And I was like, oh, I know that answer to it because I've been taught that way. So now we're sharing information. I'm a curious enthusiast. I have experience. I'm not afraid of testing things out and break things, as you may have seen in the forum. And I would report bugs and all that. But I find this environment, the learning environment, super engaging and cool. But before we go into talking to you more about that, I would at least want to say hello to my Clubhouse folks. Oh, wait, this is not Clubhouse.
Yeah, we got quite a few.
So my scene is messed up. Oh, my scene is messed up. I'm here, but maybe we don't worry about that. We just look at whoever active speaker is talking would pop up. We have, who do we have? We have Michael Fox is actually on the stage. We're getting ready to talk. John Shin is also here. Okay. We have Ellen from Australia. We have Sebastian. We have Pete also. Christy and Chris, Jimmy, Hank. Oh wait, I'm scroll. Are you all seeing? No, you're not seeing it because it's too.
It stops at Chris now. Yeah, okay, Christy's raising their hand.
Okay, let me zoom out and see if you can at least see all the way up to Jimmy.
You're going to add Michael. You're going to go for 8, John.
Wait, Michael's joining us on Zoom. Michael, if you wanna join us on Zoom,
I will be joining shortly.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Now, if for those of you who would want to join,
we'll see if your computer can handle it.
Help me live test this out. If the stream goes off, come back with me, meaning it won't be able to handle 8 people. So, 8 is the max. Oh my gosh, we're testing out the max actually.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 8 is the max.
Yeah. So anyway, hi to people from Clubhouse and the crawl there. If you want the link to connect to the Zoom call, you have to go to the website and there is a button for you to press.
Can't you pin it in there?
Yeah, I can, but too much work for me to do, so I'm not doing that.
Where's Michael when you need him?
Just go to learner2learner.com and you'll be able to find the link to join that conversation. However, if you're on Clubhouse, you can still unmute. We can still hear you. But now I want to turn the attention to how many people do we have? Do we have 7? Oh, wait, where's guest 7? Where's guest 7? I thought we have 7 people. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Did.
Who was it that was not here?
We keep losing a person.
And then Michael was going to come. He would have been 8.
Okay, so now we'll switch back to 6.
In this episode, we learn how to count.
Oh my gosh,
on the Learning Channel.
Well, let me tell you, one of my first experience using
this is fun. John's kind of just a bubble.
I'm just floating. So if I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to come over here and talk to you, Sean.
Don't cover my face.
If I want to pretend to be Sean, I would do this.
That's cool.
But anyway, so one of the first things, speaking of counting, the first time, I understand the concept of camera switcher and everything, like the placeholder camera for Ecamm. I haven't actually mentioned that yet. Today we're talking about RØDECaster Pro usage, or actually generally mixers with external mixers with Ecamm Live, the software. And Andy will be our pro here because he's experienced with this. He has a RØDECaster Pro II as well, so we can ask him questions. But when I first started using Ecamm Live, my main thing was trying to figure out how to use my camera switcher. So I would actually start building my layout by putting guest 1, guest 2 into the layout. But that quickly, I learned that's not the way to do it. I wanted to do camera A, B, C, D, E. That's why mine counting. Oh my gosh. I was like, okay, camera A, B, C, D. I have to count A, B, C, D, E. What's the number of the guest? I still couldn't do. I think my max is D. I think after D, I cannot imagine what E is number 5.
Can't you use numbers?
There's also guess 1, 2. I'm not sure why they do that, Andy, but
Yeah, I mean, I can go into the whole placeholder a little bit type of thing. So the idea of placeholders started before all of the Zoom integration, but the idea was a lot of times we'd be using things like cam links to get our cameras into Ecamm, and the way that the Mac works for whatever reason is it enumerates things different on every boot. And so if I set a scene up that has my main camera on it and then another scene with a different camera on it, next time those may be flipped. I may go into that scene and it's going to be the opposite camera, just the way that the Mac enumerates that video. And so the idea of placeholders was set to be so I could create a scene. Let's say I was doing a scene with me and John, and me and a guest, and I know that I always have my camera A as myself and camera B as my guest, and so I set up those scenes with those placeholders, and then at go live time I can assign which camera actually is the camera that's going to be me and the camera that's going to be my guest. So the cameras stay the same then, because your scene has those placeholders, and then at go live time you just assign which physical cameras are there
to the letters, to the placeholder.
To the letters.
Yeah,
right. And then the guests are essentially something similar. It's a guest placeholder, but then you can also does get confusing because you can assign a guest placeholder to a
camera, alphabet camera. Yeah, but but that's the thing. But tonight we're gonna specifically talk about the integration of Ecamm Live, not integration. Sorry, the usage of an external mixer with Ecamm Live, because it was confusing for me when I first started, because what I was thinking, the terminologies do not always match up with what I'm imagining in my head as a mixer user. But then I very quickly learned that it's the terminology. The purpose of Ecamm Live when it first started was to make going live stream very quickly for anyone. So you should be able to come in and go live immediately, even without an additional microphone. You have a built-in microphone, built-in camera, you can go live. And because of that, the language, I have to learn the language. It's like coming into a new culture, right? I have to relearn that culture and that language so that I can translate the language, which is why I think I wanted to do this as the discussion between those two things. I've never had this room so active before with like conversation going on in Zoom. I'm looking at things. It's like some of the stuff that I even want to put on. It could be internet also. Yes. Andy, we are very, because we've done so many people with RØDECaster coming in. We were talking about this, and we don't have to go into this this specific topic, but the compression on RØDECaster Pro II sometimes could be quite aggressive, and that's,
it's the default. It's a default setting, and we know it well.
If you have
instantly,
if you have your threshold's like 20 something.
And I did just turn my.
Oh, you sound way better now.
I turned my compressor off. So
yeah, you're good. Yeah, that's way better.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
he's like, all right, guys, I get it. Okay.
Okay, so now I do have. I think Charles was super excited when he first learned that we are gonna have you come join us. Okay, this is when I get. Oh, I have another guest joining. Is Jim? Jim is okay. Who did we lose? Who's that camera?
Yeah, I can't remember who. And on YouTube, Seb's saying, John, that you look completely different than you sound on Clubhouse. But your picture is the same.
I did
on
not
YouTube.
see how
on YouTube.
Where on YouTube? Okay,
you sound so different on Clubhouse. Okay,
we lost Matthew.
Okay. So he said you sound different on Clubhouse than on YouTube. Really?
It's the same equipment. I know.
I don't know why. Okay, so why don't we have Charles
Drum roll.
I'm gonna reassign the last user. So I'm gonna assign.
I don't know that this is but it absolutely drives me nuts.
So it's a question,
and I wish I could get rid of this nuisance problem. So yeah.
Okay, go.
So I have upgraded several times. OSs, Ecamm, Macs. What the heck is with the phantom preview window when you minimize? Do you have that?
When you minimize. So
let me see if I can share my screen.
Share?
Let me see if it'll show it in demo mode. By the way, if you don't like getting a bunch of pop-ups, don't upgrade to the new developer beta, because every time you do anything, it's going to ask you if you want to continue sharing. But well, it won't show you, but you can see right here, it won't show you.
With demo mode won't show?
Well, it'll show it, but it's doing something funny. Basically, this window, whenever I minimize my live window, so whenever I minimize Ecamm, I put it over in Stage Manager. Maybe I'm doing a Loom recording or something inside Chrome. This window will continue to show in the same right-hand corner. Anywhere I place this on my desktop, when I minimize Ecamm to the Stage Manager, this will continue to show with no controls. It's just the video feed, nothing else. Can't move it, can't do anything, can't interact with it. It just shows the video feed.
I wonder if that's something to do. You said you had Stage Manager on. I've noticed that Ecamm does get a little funky when Stage Manager is on, so I wonder if that might be it.
Yeah, Seb on YouTube saying turn off Stage Manager as well.
Oh, Stage Manager
not a solution. That's
on your Mac. Okay.
Yeah, so let me see. So if I do that, oh my gosh.
I don't use Stage
I guess I would.
Manager.
I love Stage Manager.
Because you were a Stage Manager.
Yeah,
right? I remember you said you were a Stage Manager. I mean, or like you're in theater or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Well, that's not a great solution, but I guess it works.
Yeah.
And now if I can
like
get back to my
Manager
Ecamm.
too, but there's just some quirks that I've noticed with it that when it's on, Ecamm does some weird stuff.
All right, Andy, you're done. Thanks a lot. We answered the questions too late.
We haven't even talked about Mixer yet.
I just want to say, Ecamm, if you can figure out the Stage Manager issue, that would be wonderful.
Wait, let me make sure. As far as I know, Andy does not work for Ecamm.
No,
I know that. I know
I do not work for Ecamm. I am a moderator in the forums, but I do not work for Ecamm.
Yeah, it's learner to learner, not company to learner.
Right, but we're happy to learn with everyone. It doesn't have to be. I mean, if anybody wants to join, they could. So now my question. I think I've had this discussion. I was going to wait, but I couldn't with Andy already before we even got on here, is trying to wrap my head around how I want to set up my Ecamm Live in order for me to fully utilize just my RØDECaster Pro to control sound. And I think I finally got it. And so I didn't understand a few things, but I think I finally got to a point where I'm actually understanding it a little bit more. But that's where I want to start talking about it, because I know I have Glenn, who's also an Ecamm user and a RØDECaster Pro II user, but he does not go and tinker around things like I do that much. And it's working for him. He has several podcasts and all that.
I'm scared to tinker.
So let us tinker, and then, when it's all ready and, ready to go, and you can just copy the settings.
I'm a tinker. In fact, I'm running beta firmware on the RØDECaster Pro. I'm running a beta firmware for Ecamm. I just run beta.
Which is why you're here, because you've tested it and you kind of know what to do and what not to do, probably. So I would say what's your recommendation when somebody has a RØDECaster Pro 2 or RØDECaster Duo, I kind of want to eliminate because the RØDECaster, I would mix the RØDECaster OG and the other mixers probably together, because RØDECaster Pro 2 has its own unique functionality, especially when it comes to having 3 USB inputs and outputs, that it gives you a little bit more flexibility. When people first started, if they have a RØDECaster and if they just want to use the RØDECaster just as the microphone input, I don't know why you would buy a RØDECaster and not use it fully, but if you just want to start with that, what would your setup be on your Ecamm? Because to me, there are 2 places I set my audio, and I'll ask that question, then I'll let you answer. I was confusing for me because you set your microphone, and then you set the speakers. Again, this is kind of a Zoom app talk, right? Microphone, and which is what common people talk instead of input and output. You have your microphone and your speakers. How do you make sure that the very basic, I want to have my RØDECaster Pro just use the microphone, how do I want to set it up? And you can do, if you want to, I can show it. You can show how you point things out. You don't have to change things, but you can point things out if you want to, or I can do it on mine.
Let me see if I can demo mode here real quick.
But let me tell you another thing that I found is I am finding myself, when there are a crowd of people, I am doing live switching so much more than using my presets. I pretty much don't.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, what I would do anyway, or what I do is, for my input, I use the RØDECaster Pro main. I'm set up as multi-track, so it's set up as multi-track.
Yep.
And then what you can do then is your speaker is going to be that same speaker. So essentially, the speaker in Ecamm is any sounds that are going to come out of Ecamm, whether it be sounds that you're playing from the sound panel, or if you have an interview guest on, excluding the Zoom. We're not even talking about the Zoom here, but the normal Ecamm interview mode. Anything that comes out of Ecamm is going to come to your speaker, and that's set in the preferences in the audio setting here.
Okay.
And so this speaker here. So what you're going to do is have those be the same exact thing.
Okay.
So it's going to be, for mine, it's the main multi-track, and then the speaker is going to be the same speaker. And the reason for that is because of the mix minus. And so by default in RØDECaster Pro, the chat channel is, but you can go in and change it in your routing. You're going to want to do that. So any of the I by default go in and change all of my USBs so the mix minus is on them. And essentially what that's going to do, for those of you who don't know what mix minus is, essentially I'm using that channel as my mic. So in Ecamm, the RØDECaster 2 USB is my mic, but then anything coming from that is going to come back into my mixer as USB 1, but you don't want my mic to come back out in it. So that's essentially the easiest way to set RØDECaster up, and you can set it up however you want. You can use whatever the 3 channels. I have all 3 USBs going to the same computer, so you could use USB 1 chat, because I think that by default mix minus is on. So as long as you set your speaker and your mic to be the same USB channel, then it's going to be good to go in Ecamm, and you're not going to hear the slapback or anything like that.
So make sure that they're the same, and for your speaker and for your microphone to be the same, then you should be fine.
Correct.
Wouldn't it can I follow on that, John?
Yeah, sure.
Can I? All right, because this is kind of what I was asking before, because I know that from one source I was told to set it up with Pro 2 main stereo, but when you look at Doc's teaching video, he says to use chat. So is there it's not that there's a preference, it's that they have to be the same whichever one you choose.
Right. Yeah. For me, I just use that because I end up using chat, the USB 2 chat for my Zoom. or any other program. Like if I'm in Microsoft Teams and I have Microsoft Teams also audio playing in the background or whatever, I have that on the chat channel. So I just have that separated like that.
Okay.
But for me, as long as your mic,
your main thing is the main stereo,
right? As long as
that's the way I've got mine set up.
Yep, it should be fine.
I tend to do if you're not gonna tinker with like bringing guests on, like that. That's Slapback. He's doing a demo of what Slapback sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what we don't want. That's with mix minus turned on. You don't have that. And I tend to do. I started with stereo, and then stereo or multi-track. It depends, right? The RØDECaster Pro main, essentially. I started with that. If you don't want anything else, but then I start to use the guest feature, and then I turn everything to chat. So now I tend to try, if they have a RØDECaster Pro, I tend to have them just use chat if people ask me. And that would be safe because then we don't have to worry about them not turning on mix minus for main, Then you eliminate that additional potential things would go wrong if you don't turn that on.
Yeah, sure. And I think for me, I just used it because I'm not like, realistically, your main stereo could go to something else. Like if you had
music or something,
Audition or some other DAW that you were running and capturing all the audio in, you could have that set as your input to your DAW. But for me, since I'm not doing a DAW in the background, when I do podcasts, I record all of my audio on the RØDECaster, so I actually use the built-in SD card for my recording. And then I do a video also, and so then that audio I just use from whatever Ecamm had captured.
Got it. Yeah, and that way, when I do, if I save then it gets a little bit more complicated. So now, if I want to bring music in, if I use chat as my Ecamm sound going in and out, and then I leave, let's say if I play music from my Stream Deck that comes out from my system, it would then play into my RØDECaster main channel. Then I can manually control like fading out the music with my RØDECaster without having to mess with the level on the sound levels slider on Ecamm. But it gets more complicated too.
I do that same thing, John. So when I record my podcast, I have a lot of my sounds for my podcast, intro, outro music and stuff I have them on the pads, on the RØDECaster too. So I use that for those type of things. But I also do have an application for Rago that.
Yes, I do too. Yes.
And that I route through my USB too, actually. So that way, again, it doesn't get confused, I guess, or mixed in with the same channel that I'm using for Ecamm. So the important thing is anytime you're bringing something in and out, if it's two-way communication like that where it's in and out, you want to have mix minus on, and you want to use a separate channel for that. So I don't want to use my RØDECaster Pro main USB for something else also, because I'm also then using that as my mic. Right. I'm using that as my mic and my speaker in Ecamm, so I don't want to use that for anything else.
And then we'll go on. Nee is also joining us. You guys are so good with helping me test. I'm looking at my Stream Deck's screen. It's telling me my processor is 51%. So nothing. I've got everybody on, and it's nothing. Let me see if I can use the 8 grid for the first time. Do we have
Come on,
8 people?
Where's Nee?
We have 8 people here.
We got 6, 7. We hear you, but he's got to put you on.
Turn off my active speaker. Look,
and we go.
We also have the Pizza Club people here as well. Is this 8? 1, 2, 3,
Michael
4, 6,
and
7,
John. Yay.
What's up, guys?
9, including me.
Knees in the future, so.
And Arthur's very still.
Yeah.
Arthur, wave. I was checking to see if it's a Zoom frame like freezing, or is this for real? No.
So Nee, we got it. We're full house.
Yeah, full house.
And his computer's still working.
If you join Zoom, we can still hear you with the routing that I have, which we were going to go into with with Andy. We can still hear you, but we cannot see you unless I swap you with other people. So at one time, seriously, more than 8 people, you're gonna have to need a separate person. It cannot be a one-person show because it's gonna be too confusing for me to even try to. I'm not even paying attention to the chat, frankly. So if you all see,
I am.
Okay, so if there's anything, please let me know, and then I can bring it to.
Well, here's a quick question about Ecamm. Are you able to have somebody remotely do it? Like in this situation, if you needed a producer. Can you do that?
So by default, you can't log in and produce it. So what you would do is if you were going to be a remote producer, you would do it all. And so you would have, like, if I was going to remote produce this show for John, I would have my Ecamm running, and I would bring Zoom in through, or Interview Link, or however we brought the guests in. I would just do the production. I would just do all the production.
Oh, and then John would be the host.
Right. I mean, he would be the host. I would just start
at his mercy. At his mercy, like he'll control how I show up as a host.
If you've ever seen the Flow podcast by Ecamm, that's how they do it. Katie and Doc do the show, but they don't actually do the production. They have Mr. Camera Junkie do that, and so and he's all
No wonder
remote.
The sound is different.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the sound. Okay, I'm very sensitive. My ear sensitive. Okay, so Pizza Club people, let's quickly say hi to you, and then I have one last thing to talk to Andy about, and then we can open it up to other people as well. We have been doing this more than an hour, like an hour and a half, but I understand if you need to drop, perfectly fine. But we do definitely want to get the Pizza Club's people's question answered also. But the next thing I want to talk about is now we have Ecamm for Zoom, which means Zoom is now integrated into Ecamm, and it makes the audio routing even more interesting. I'm glad I have a RØDECaster Pro II now, because essentially, maybe I can show. Maybe I'll show you, Andy, and then you tell me if it's right. Well, I guess it's right.
All right, let's go, John. You got 8 people and share your screen. Let's go.
I'm scared.
You're 50%.
I only have 4. I only have 4 monitors, so I gotta scooch stuff around so I don't.
Yeah. Only 4?
Hey, John.
Yes, Michael.
Hey, sorry. I just real quick. I know Jim's joining us from Pizza Club. I know you're going to get into it in a second, but just so for the sake of those who haven't heard the full setup, maybe you can just give a quick overview about like what's happening, because I think he has no idea what's going on.
Okay.
So just be helpful.
All right, sure. I can do that. Okay. Let's throw another curveball at me. No, just kidding. So what happened is I have been doing Clubhouse just like Pizza Club has been doing rooms in Clubhouse regularly for many years, 3+ years now, almost 4. And I am just now starting to bring my show, if you want to call it, the room where we typically do is we will answer people audio questions. I do 1 hour of just RØDECaster specific one, and then we go into Soundcheck, which is what we're doing right now, and we talk about all things audio, and then show people how to control this and change that compression setting, compressor setting, and all that. And now we're bringing this to YouTube, which is like Pizza Club also wanting to YouTube. And the reason why I started to doing this, taking my Clubhouse rooms into YouTube, is because of the Zoom integration into Ecamm. It makes the fact that I can not like bring you all on here, like that many people on here, like this easily. It also made potential callers coming on and join me easily. On Clubhouse, they took away the friction because they're really good. You come into the room, if you have an audio question that we were talking about, you need clarification, you raise your hand, we bring you up on stage, you're talking to us. I wanted to mimic that sort of environment for the show that I'm doing now on YouTube. If you have any question while you're watching the stream, not only can you put your questions in the chat, if you want to, you can go to the website, learner2learner.com, and put the ticker right now immediately with one button with that stream deck. You can go there and get the Zoom link and join us on the call. You can't right now, you can, but we will only hear your voice because the 8 video feed is full. So that's what we're trying to do. Is that enough for the background setup? And then now we're talking about is Ecamm is a software of my choice to do this kind of stuff, interact with audience immediately. Oh my gosh, we do have another person joining. Who is this? Is this? Oh, maybe it was Nee dropping. Nee coming in from a different account. So that's why Ecamm is, when they integrated with Zoom, is when I started doing this trial show, because I know that there's something special in the integration that allows me to I can take live calls immediately. If they click on the Zoom link, they can come on. They can even, frankly, if I have a Zoom meeting set, I can put my phone number for the call-in number, and they can just call wherever they are, even different countries. I can put a different country phone numbers, and they can call in and join the conversation. So that is what I'm doing. And so that's the essentially the basic of why, when I first showing this, and I think it was Sean who told Michael about that, and he came in and it's like, this is kind of what you wanted to do, and therefore you came in and talked about that.
He just for the benefit of everyone, Michael emailed me and verbatim said he wanted to do what you had been doing. I just said, John's doing it right now.
So anyway, now I'm going to go into the settings. So what you'll be seeing, and this is for both Jim and Michael and everybody else, if you're not an Ecamm user, is that I am going to show my settings, so preferences or settings inside my Ecamm Live, to kind of walk through the settings for Andy to see, and see if there's anything that I'm not doing right based on my month-old knowledge.
And while you pull that up, John, if someone could talk to the 8 limitation, can we get past the 8? Is it a paid upgrade? What's the situation there?
So essentially, what the idea was, from my understanding, again, I'm not a Ecamm employee, but Ecamm worked really tightly with Zoom and their integration team, and Andy Carluccio from Zoom had basically said that's really, at this point, the maximum you want to pull, because it's going to tax your machine down, like trying to do all of that feed processing and things through their SDK. And so that's where they just set a cap saying 8, because that was his recommendation. So that comes from Andy from Zoom.
And I can kind of see, I think maybe like down the road, I'm sure if the software can comfortably fit more than 8 people, they will do it. I think it's the user experience.
Because we know Zoom can do more than 8, right? So,
right, but
it has to then process all of those isolated videos that it's
into a switcher, and it's not just like doing the meetings, because in the meetings, if you're not talking, your thumbnail is just that small, and that's data that you want. But if you leave it to people like us to tinker, then you will want to have picture here and picture there, and everybody's big. And so
I'm sure at some point they'll have an upgrade, because when people are having like M4 Max with 32 gigs of RAM and on their GPU, they'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, I think it's people's hardware that is limiting that, not the software per se. I think it's people's hardware not being able to handle all those feeds that they're limiting to that. So, okay, all right, now let's see.
One other thing, John, real quick, but you can have a limited audio guest, though, just as supplemental.
Now, I found out that that's why I was asking Andy recently, is the limitation. No, the limitation is there if, well, I guess I break apart the limitation when you have a RØDECaster Pro II.
Yes.
It's not everybody can do that.
Can I go ahead and explain a little bit
real
quickly?
Please. Yeah.
So there's 2 different kind of audio settings in Ecamm that kind of how to route your audio. So the first is essentially if you don't have a RØDECaster. And so what's going to happen with that is if you don't have a RØDECaster or some other multi-channel audio device, what will happen is in Zoom, your earphone, your mic, or your speaker can be set to anything. And so, that could be the headset on your computer or whatever. And so that you as the host will hear all of those, but your stream would only hear the guests if you bring them on. And so if you bring them on as video, then it shows up as Zoom, or I'm sorry, Ecamm routes that. So I can, give me 1 second. I'll show demo mode again.
I was trying and I messed it up.
So in other words, right in here, like it becomes another audio input into Ecamm. When you don't have like a multi-channel audio device, if that makes sense, it comes in here, and these Zoom guests only show up if you add them as cameras in Ecamm. Now, the other way to do it is with a multi-channel audio, and that can be set. You turn that on in the Ecamm settings, and essentially, it's not going to do any routing at all. And so, what's going to happen is, for me, like I have in this call right now, and I'm joined through Ecamm, but I have my audio speaker set to be my RØDECaster Pro II chat, and my microphone to be my RØDECaster Pro II chat for this Zoom meeting, even though I'm really have Ecamm running. And if I was streaming out to YouTube or whatever, all of that would be coming through. Again, hold on, let me go. I'm trying to drag the Zoom window off so it doesn't get a giant Inception type of thing here. So essentially, the way I have it set up is, I mean, if I'm quiet and John, you talk, you'll see my
testing. You see, I'm coming through the microphone instead of coming through the Zoom guest, right, because of how correct. You set it up. So essentially, you are taking over the Ecamm's mixer. That's almost like that's your Ecamm mixer, essentially, right? You're mixing your audio with that.
I'm doing all of my audio processing outside of Ecamm. I'm saying any sound effects, any extra guests, anything, I'm gonna mix in my mixer and then bring all of that into Ecamm as this
one audio source.
One audio source, if that makes sense.
So, which is what I was trying to do to show you this. And I was going to show you the desktop.
Is there a minimum hardware requirement? Do we know that? It's on the website for Ecamm.
It's on the website. I don't know offhand what it is.
Cool.
Why? Oh,
and there's a difference too. So, like if you have an Intel Mac, you won't get some of the features like isolated video recording. So if you have an M processor on your Apple or on your Mac, you'll be able to record the video. And so in this case, John could, if he has that set up, at the end of this call, anybody who he has on screen, he's going to have an isolated video for, say,
that's cool.
outside of whatever he's processed, set to the stream.
And is there a quality limitation, 4K, 8K?
That's a good question. Well, it would be whatever they're coming in at. So in Zoom, you're only going to come in at either 720 or 1080 anyways. And I think it will record. I'm stammering a little bit because I don't have a account in Zoom that lets me do the
1080, yeah.
No.
But I believe it'll record whatever it brings in. Now the Zoom
Charles.
The Ecamm interview mode only can do 720, so it's all of the guests would be saved at 720.
Yeah, so Charles just put in the chat here, 2015 Mac or newer, silicone, 10 megabytes up.
Earlier when I was doing the live demo mode, do you all see it? I mean,
we can see that.
You can see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this also trumped me, right? When I do live demo mode, I don't see it in my program window because I thought I'm supposed to see it, but you're not supposed
to. Remember that was happening with Zoom, right? When you put the settings up, it doesn't broadcast itself.
So right now in demo mode, now you're seeing my two windows, right? The Ecamm live preferences. Okay, so this is where I have my setup, and Andy, you can take a look. Hopefully it's clear enough. You can. So in my audio, my speakers, I set it to main because I want all the sound. If I use the any sound, if I play a video through Ecamm, I want it to come through my USB channel. So that's why it's set to this. And then this is the thing that I learned very early, that you want to map the input channels 1 and 2 to left and right stereo. That is so that it's taking your multi-track process mixer and take the first 2 channel and only use those 2 channel as the left and right for your stereo signal. And again, this is the system output mix mode. This is only when you have an external. I don't know. Do you have that check? Previously I didn't. It still kind of work. The system audio output mix mode, which it takes like all the sound effects and everything, not through Ecamm anymore.
I don't have that setting set.
So if I where is it my sound? Oh, I guess I don't use the internal sound effects. So there's like a sound effects window. Is it this window? Okay, so I maybe you'll see. Do you see it when I bring that in?
Yep.
Oh,
okay,
like a soundboard?
Yeah, like a soundboard. So it's built in. That's why I'm saying it's great for people who have no mixers. It would be great too. So it might be loud.
Well, it can't be that good because Andy's still using Farrago, right? So.
Well, we have what?
No, I actually use a little of everything. So I mean, I have it in there. I just normally, just because I started with Farrago,
I love the new version of it, man. When they upgraded it, I was like, this is what it needs to be.
I beta tested that too. Again, I'm a beta tester. So I beta tested that new version too.
So if I don't have system output mix mode checked, all the sound effects would come through the sound effects. Oh, it still does. Do you hear it twice then? Like if I
only hear it.
No, we heard it, but it was loud. So
okay,
but maybe it was twice.
Maybe it was twice.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't want to go into that. That's not the question, but we can come back to that later. But want to talk about the ability, because we have a RØDECaster Pro II. I am now in Zoom. This is the setting that I have. So I have. Don't worry about this. Always admit, because I don't have a lot of viewers, so I'll change that later. Which means anybody click on the link, they can join the meeting. And then the include. No, not this one. This one, manual audio mode. This is the part that you would probably want checked, because I want to be able to control where my Zoom input and output, or your mic and speakers, to go to manually force it to go to my RØDECaster Pro chat. Because in here I have it set to RØDECaster Pro speakers, and I mean main, even sound levels in here, my microphone essentially. This I also have RØDECaster Pro main selected, but I want my Zoom guests so that I can control all my guests separately on a separate channel. Is when you go into Zoom, you want to enable manual audio mode, and that would allow you to come into, I guess, in your audio setting of your Zoom call, like this one. Is the Zoom call, is the setting on Zoom showing up on here as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So I couldn't tell. Everything I'm seeing should be showing, right? Is that what the demo mode is for?
In live demo mode, it shows everything, including the Ecamm windows.
Okay, which is
screen sharing. It only shows the screen share. It doesn't show Ecamm's windows.
So in here, that allows me to then come in and choose the speaker to be chat, RØDECaster Pro II chat and RØDECaster Pro II chat for the microphone, and therefore I can manually control my speakers from Zoom. And this is Michael for. Is Michael still here? I don't think Michael's here anymore. So this for Michael, whenever he sees this is where I am able to do more than 8 guests. The limit of 8 guests is because I am controlling all the Zoom audio manually, and therefore
only audio.
Only audio, yes.
Yeah.
So therefore,
essentially anybody in the Zoom meeting right now can talk, and it's going to come through John's RØDECaster and then out to the stream.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, why don't I see the signal moving though when you speak? If it's coming, oh yeah, it does. Test.
I think Charles has a question, John.
Okay. All right. I must turn that off. Okay, Charles, your question.
Yeah. So looking at the RØDECaster OG, where we don't have a chat channel, if we turned on multi-track, could we then map the Zoom guests to, say, channel 2 to be able to control? So if I want to play audio, because like I use my TRRS from a MacBook, into the TRS of my RØDECaster for if I'm playing music off my computer. I want to be able to control that audio separate from the guest that I have and separate from my audio. I may want to turn up my mic, turn up the music, but then turn down the Zoom guest. Would I be able to do that with multi-track?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
See, now we're actually getting into sound engineering. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've had an OG RØDECaster, so I can't quite remember how that one would work.
You might need loopback to do that because you need to somehow get your mix minus into Zoom's audio input and output.
Well, the TRS
I guess your input needs to be mix minus.
TRS on the OG does make minus.
Can you use that
and I
as
could
an
do
input
mix
and
minus
output?
manually by muting and soloing.
Yeah, so loopback or hijack would be so much easier. Even hijack, because you'd make a scene and just lock it in, right?
Yeah,
and we're not hearing you, Charles.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, there we go.
Here's the thing.
You know what? I was looking at the YouTube and your mouth was moving. I'm like, wait a minute.
I have a feeling. I know I'm like Andy because it's been a while. My RØDECaster Pro OG is up here. I always just turn it on when people ask me where do you go find something.
If I flip on multi-track on USB.
So you're trying to only get one channel into. Okay, it's live testing it. Soundcheck.
Neo was asking you in the chat if you have air conditioning now.
So now if I go into Zoom audio, I don't know if it will
type it in the chat, Nee.
Because I only see in Zoom. There we go. RØDECaster Pro multi-channel.
Michael, we just answered not answered, but we just showed that particular thing. I know it's a long way leading up to the why I can bring more guests in with the RØDECaster. So we just showed that earlier. But right now, Andy, Charles and Andy are trying to figure out if we can use the RØDECaster Pro or OG to do the same thing that the RØDECaster Pro II is able to do fairly easily.
So while Charles is doing that, can you guys talk about, are there different tiers as far as subscription?
Oh, Ecamm? So there's the Ecamm standard subscription. And maybe Andy knows more than I do. And then the Pro. Pro does most of the good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember what the complete difference is. Let me see here. I know that one of the things you get is the Zoom integration. You have to be pro for that. And then you also have if you have there's an interview mode on that, so you can go. Essentially, it's the same type of a thing. It's a remote video for a guest. It's different outside of Zoom. It's before the Zoom integration came along. Let's see. So you get on standard, you get unlimited multi-stream to 10 destinations. Overlays, recording, comments, web widgets, and green screen. But then you also add for Pro, it's the Zoom live interview mode, virtual mic and webcam, so you can bring your mic and webcam out of Ecamm into any program that accepts a webcam. 4K streaming, live video monitoring to any display, isolated video and audio recording, audio monitor output, real-time bandwidth stats, and VIP tech support.
And can we do if we're using?
Someone. Is that Charles?
Yeah,
that's Charles. Mix minus issue.
If I'm using an iPhone or something as a camera, we can bring that in as long as it shows up as a camera on your Mac, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any source.
And in fact, if you plug an iPhone in, you could use it a couple different ways. A continuity camera would show up in Ecamm as a camera, and then if you plug it in, it's going to actually show up as essentially a screen share for your phone. So,
that's cool.
So yeah, you could demo things off of your iPhone by just plugging it in.
Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to drop the 1 year subscription here, John. You've done it again.
I use my be my first whatever.
Oh, you got a code? What's the discount?
Do I have a code?
One too, but
I don't think I have a code. But do you have a discount? He can use your. I don't have a discount.
I don't have a discount. All I have is an affiliate.
I know. Yeah. You can.
So you get money, but I don't get any off. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how much, and I don't know what.
You can also bring in, especially with, I think it's with Pro. I don't remember if it's Pro or if it's just Pro, but you can bring in network cameras too. So if you have a camera, that does NDI, anything that does NDI can show up in as a camera too. So if you've got another app outputting anything in NDI, it can show up.
That is good to know because my Mackie DLC
that's gonna allow you
has NDI. I'm on Mackie DLC, so
okay. So yeah, anything NDI will show up as a video source if it's an NDI video,
and audio for you.
That's amazing because on my network, John, I could spread out because I have 4 Macs. I can have all the shit on and just come in. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm sold now.
and you can get this sounds so dumb, but you can get the affiliate link. I don't even know how that works. I mean, it's in here. It's go to learner2learner.com, and I think I have it listed. In fact, every single show, I now have it listed as in the description now of the all the tools and equipment and software that I use. I want to also mention, if all of you who are here who have an account, like a YouTube account that you would want to for me to identify, just go to the chat. Maybe not now if you are not fast enough to turn off the audio and get all your audio messed up. Drop in the chat after this recording, the live stream is done, so that I know your YouTube account. Then I go in there and go into market timestamp a certain thing we talk about, and I'll put your
Are you going to at me, John? Are you going to at you?
I will at you. Okay, wait, let me try to fill in the gap. Okay, so who is not here yet? Okay, it is Arthur's not here, and Michael's not here too. So let me I'm just going to switch this camera. It's a lot easier for me to do this. Guess, and guess. See how quickly I can do this. I can even add me into this discussion. So this is live switching. I think, Sean, you definitely want the Pro. I think a lot of the stuff, it's very basic. Yeah. The non-Pro ones is fairly basic.
It's funny, I have a list
neat.
of all my subscriptions, and it's just getting longer.
Yeah, it's getting longer. I know this is why I didn't want to do it, but I was just telling.
And all the ones that are a year, I have like an Excel sheet so I know when because they're never renewed the same time.
Yeah. I was telling Charles earlier that I've been a cheapskate, and you all know me from Clubhouse for so long, because he's been asking me to get Ecamm Live for years. Nee also knows this about that conversation we've had, and but when I switch over, now I understand why I pay that $380 a year, because it makes this I just did this grid very quickly. Because of the software. And then I feel like, okay, so they deserve my $380 a year to allow me to do things like this, and also take live call from Zoom. Okay, I'm gonna cough.
Get some water. So this is probably a question Michael will have at some point too. Am I able to color correct everybody? And
yes, you can.
Yes,
I can. Okay.
Yeah, you can. There's a simple basic color correction in there, but you can also apply a LUT if you have a LUT file.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, and I can go to
Michael's brains go. Oh, yeah.
He has. I was just doing he has a perfectly blue screen behind him, and just dropping a brick wall behind you. For Sean. Anyway, okay, so
Sean, you're talking. We can hear you.
You're using the wrong mic input.
No, I'm using the right mic.
No, Nee.
Oh,
you're not using
we're not hearing you through your
proper mic. Go to Zoom settings and check it. Sorry, this is like Andy. This is the thing. This is what we do every time people open their mouth. Something is wrong. Not something is wrong. It's just that we know what the potential could be, and you just need to switch it to the right input. Michael Michael Fox, do you have? I know we've been just like slapping a bunch of Ecamm RØDECaster usage things at you. Do you want to now take the time to kind of ask questions, especially with Andy being here? I don't want to keep him too long. It's over an hour. But any Ecamm question that you might have? What can
and you can take my brick wall off anytime. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I was just saying maybe if it's possible we could do a demo, but I think a lot of the Pizza Club people might have left, so maybe we'll table that for another time. But
they can watch the replay. It's on YouTube.
And maybe what we do is I will dedicate this time next week. Soundcheck will be yours. Like, I mean, we'll do it like as if we're gonna set you up for your show.
Are we gonna get pizza, John?
You should. I know a few people were here earlier, but yeah, I'll invite them again next week and see if we can try to do it at 10 o'clock or something Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that, and we'll just focus that entirely on how can you utilize Ecamm to do what you want to do, and then talk about all the setup that you might need.
That would be cool, like a planning session, and then go, okay, this is what we want to be able to do, and
work session.
That sounds cool.
Okay, do you have one question?
Yeah, I did have one question about, you were talking about the quality Sean was mentioning, like for recording. I know Sean and I have probably talked about Riverside in the past. Is there a way to get like local video recorded, or that's just not part of Zoom, how Zoom works, I guess?
Yeah, that would not be part of how Zoom works. So yeah, it'd be all over the internet. And that same thing with the Ecamm interview function. That's going to be just a local, or just a internet connection video. There's no local recording like Riverside does.
Yeah, so we're at the behest of the Zoom SDK, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and Zoom does some funky things as far as trying
to
get the high video. Yeah, so you have to like have somebody full screen and to show your video. No, as soon as John brought any one of us in as guests, it forced all of our connections to go high for our incoming video to him. So whatever his max resolution is,
you should be happy I don't have 1080.
Yeah, what do you want?
I'm 720. My internet's perfectly fine, but it's just the Zoom account that I have is just a what is it called? It's a Pro. Yeah, I think you have to have a business account to get 1080p. But here's the thing.
Yeah, I'm on the business.
So that brings up the next question, Andy.
It works.
Have you heard any?
I don't hear any slapback.
A creator.
But you're softer now.
Somewhere in between personal Zoom One and Zoom Business, a creator Zoom package.
I've not heard of anything.
Oh man.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I seriously think that I know we all here, like all of us, we want like the best because it potentially could be really great, right? Everybody 1080. But if you're doing layout like this, it doesn't matter. Like because we're not using 1080 of any one of us. I mean, I could be 360 and
it's funny, like I'm sitting here watching us on my iPad, and I mean, it looks perfectly clear. You can't.
Yeah, even full frame, it's not that bad. If we all have good internet connection, I don't think it's that crucial to have everybody at 1080. Do I want it? Yeah.
I can see other wrinkles on John's face.
You can see my true age.
I'm just kidding.
You can see my real age. Let me.
So am I not coming in at 1080, John? No, nobody is.
Nobody is. Everybody's coming in 720, and you can see that actually.
But it's the highest of whoever is hosting.
Yes.
So if Sean
created the meeting,
a business account with 1080, when we join your Ecamm Zoom session, we would come in at 1080.
Well, no, that's why I was asking. I got to make sure it's turned on because I do, and I'm paying for that, and that's what I was asking John. If I'm still coming at 720, so I got to turn it on.
Good point, Sean, because that is something that I didn't know. Because a lot of people talk about you got to email Zoom to have them turn on the back end, turn on your full 1080 if you have 1080 or 720.
Oh wait, resolution. I can't just go in and turn it on, even though I'm paying.
Email them first, for support, and then they'll enable it.
Now, because I have Zoom phone as well. I have.
You can turn it on.
You have to go twice. You have to go to two different places. You have to go into the account settings for the whole global account.
And
then also into your user account.
That's what I had to do for the phone.
Now you can do those 2 steps yourself, but it still does not give you 720 or 1080. You still need to contact support.
Email them.
Yeah, the back channel, and the thing is like so I was like, people put the email in their support, blah, blah, blah. So I tried that, sent an email, it bounced back and said, no, you don't have to. I think you have to have a business account to actually have that kind of support. I have to just open a ticket. The email bounced back.
We get a rep.
Your rep, yes. So you can have your rep do that.
Get the rep do it.
For those of us with pro account, you can just open a regular ticket and then just say you want that. And they did that I think they did it for me within like 2 hours, under 2 hours. They got it ready for me.
And just so you know, I tried to ask Zoom and say, hey, can I get 1080? And they said, no, you have to have a business account.
Yeah,
I knew that. I was trying to see if they would give it to me anyways. They wouldn't.
Charles was actually saying, this may not be a bad idea. Let's put the thought out there.
I have to go to a meeting with the Riverside people. Thanks.
Sean, what you can do is maybe you can let me join your account. Like I'll buy my account through your business account. Anyway, so
we can do it. Sure.
There you go.
Hey, I'll buy a lot. So John and I had talked about that, and I talked to James from the Ecamm group. A lot of us have talked about this, but
they come together
there's
and get the pro business account.
There's been a lot of people burned in the past by using conglomerates like that.
Yeah.
If you do that, I think you have to sell. Like you can't just sell the license. You have to sell something else that includes the license, like a membership to something. And then you would also want to have your email addresses be the same domain too. So you'd have to get a domain with that, so that
like same company essentially.
Yeah,
same.
It looked like it was a business, an actual business. Yeah.
Yeah.
My hope is that they'll do kind of like a play
an in between
other services. Well, not necessarily an in between.
Oh, like it's like like when they sell kind of webinar, kind of one
Zoom
thing
is doing. What I see Zoom possibly doing that actually would make sense for them is, so right now they have it set to where you can get a Pro 1 account, as an individual, and you get 720, or you can get a business account. The problem is you have to buy 10 licenses. And so what I could see Zoom doing is saying, hey, we offer a business account with 10 licenses at, $20 or $25 per license, average, whatever it is. But I could see them saying, if you want to buy a single license, we will sell it to you at a higher premium than what you can buy that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay with that.
I have one for my company, and we have 10 employees.
Yeah, if I could buy an individual license and even pay more, maybe it was,
I wonder, Charles. I wonder if it's linked to the infrastructure in the back, because they could totally say, if you want 1080, you pay like how you would pay for those additional service. Like if you want additional, like if you want to do, what is it, like webinar or something, event, that you can just pay for that one instance, right? Maybe monthly you pay that additional $25 to get a 1080. They could do that, but I don't know. But it could be potentially something
somewhere in there, either paying for the 1080 or breaking out an individual business license at a higher cost than what you're paying per license on the 10 pack.
Charles, why are you softer?
I don't know.
You're not as loud.
That's what I was going to ask.
Sebastian brought up a good point. He said that it matters when you want to repurpose your ISO, I guess. Your recording would be coming in at 1080, and then you are able to repurpose it more than, let's say, everything come in 720. But like I said, again, 720 is not too bad. For people who use Ecamm, probably don't want to repurpose.
I get 4K.
There you go. You can go to Riverside too.
Go to Riverside with your Mackie.
Oh, there you go. Now you're loud.
There we go.
So,
am I Sean loud? Do I need to turn up a little bit?
You are more Sean. You're Sean louder than Sean, actually.
Not for long.
I'm Sean louder than Sean.
Turn it up now.
Andy, you see what we have to deal with the Soundcheck crowd. Okay, so anything from Michael Fox that could potentially utilize the brain of Andy while he's here? How long have you been using Ecamm Live? Andy?
I think I'm on my 3rd year now.
3rd year, so it's been a while. So
yes,
and you're always on the beta.
Yeah, pretty much. I've always pretty much run the beta.
Yeah,
I run it for all my productions, everything beta.
Anything, Michael?
I think.
Did you upgrade to the OS beta?
I have not done that. That's the one I don't upgrade on.
I do.
It's fine.
I do the
so
OS beta.
It's fine. Yeah, the OS beta actually came out fine. I upgraded last night.
Right now, usually.
The only issue, not usually, yeah. But the only thing I had an issue with right after the Freshen upgrade, I did have an issue with my A10 Mini not wanting to. I had to restart after it started back from the upgrade. Once I restarted, my A10 Mini finally picked up the video feed. There was something kind of funky going on with, I'm pretty sure it was the Lightning controllers. But yeah, so far, no issues with Ecamm. The only annoying part is the pop-up every time you go to share screen or screen record or anything like that. It gives you that security pop-up. Typical developer beta stuff, but everything's working fine. So.
Sean, here it is. Sean said he wants to see his comment. This is part of the Ecamm charm also. Michael Fox, do you have any question for Andy before we let him go? I mean, you don't have to go. I'm just saying, you can hang out. Usually we'll probably end like in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a ton of questions, but I think
like next week we'll probably
more.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. And next week we will do next week's Soundcheck. We will do the entire hour for if Pizza Club wants to take their Clubhouse room on YouTube, which you actually have already, right? But want to utilize Ecamm Live, what benefits can we get?
So like on tomorrow night we're doing a live YouTube live, but we're not using Ecamm yet, so we should test it. But it'd be cool to see if it will work. I guess the one thing I'm not clear about, maybe you guys covered this earlier, it's just about the integration with Clubhouse. I think it's going to be through the RØDECaster. There's no other way around that still, right? We talked about that last week. Like, if you don't have the hardware, can you just route like through Loopback or another software?
Let's everybody, if you're coming back next week, let's think through it and see if there's another solution of, I think what if you have loopback, but you also try to avoid loopback.
Yeah, audio hijack as well. Yeah,
hey, Sean, I have an answer about whether or not you can substitute. Maybe Andy does know all that too. We were talking last week or 2 weeks ago, Andy, if audio hijack replace loopback? So can audio hijack does everything that loopback can?
Yeah, it does. I'm trying to think of
my research. Hold your thought. I'll say quickly. My research found that everything you can do except for creating an output.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
So an auxiliary output.
Yeah, that's correct. You'd have to have loopback installed because it uses a loopback output.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's you create as many as you want, and then when you go into hijack, you pick whichever one of those, but they're loopback instances.
Yeah.
So Michael Fox, that would be, if let's say we don't want to get into that, you would probably need loopback. You don't need audio hijack, but
it would be cool because you could do the scenes and have a mixer and everything. So with audio hijack and loopback working together.
And Club Deck working together.
Yeah, but
because you have to have Club Deck.
Well, I mean, I'd rather him use like a phone on with Clubhouse because I'm just not a fan of Club Deck. But it's apparently it's good. It's now good, but it would be the weakest link.
That's Club Deck right there.
Club Deck, yeah.
Oh, it's very lonely, Club Deck. Only Sebastian's there.
Yeah, but this is what you inadvertently did, John, right?
Did what?
Brought everybody here.
Yeah. No, I love it.
So
I like it here. I know. Eventually, I would like to coexist, but the thing is, I feel like there's more potential bringing new people to this learring space on YouTube than it is on Clubhouse.
Tag on YouTube.
So, gotta learn a lot more about that. But
I want to hear. I haven't heard Nee talk all night.
I'm loyal, he said.
Nee, what's up, man?
Oh, nothing. I'm just listening, I'm just learning, this.
Nee is from Korea. I mean, he's in Korea right now.
Yeah,
in the
I'm
future.
from Korea. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
No, I'm just learning. And I was like, next week, since last time Sean said my background was fake. So
I didn't say that.
Next week, I'm going to be in Seoul. I didn't
say. Oh, no. I said outside when you're moving the camera around, like the leaves weren't even. I said outside was.
Okay.
Maybe if I remember, I will put a link, a card.
You can go see the video and see what I said or not said. Let the
video speaks.
Yes.
We'll give Andy, thank you so much. I want to say thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
I know it's like way more than an hour. Appreciate your expertise and the time that you're willing to spend with us. You can come back anytime. This space, so far I know I'm keeping the same URL, but you can always go to learner2learner.com and get the new recurring meeting because we have this conversation starting from 8 p.m. Central Time all the way till usually like 10:30 Central Time. So come join anytime you want.
Awesome.
Send any, the thing is I'm trying to be very careful about like not self-promoting on, on the chat. And that's why it took me a while to invite anybody to come on, especially those who like know more. Sorry, Glenn. We are like the same level when we first started. We're on the same level. We're both learning, and he's like, oh, maybe we can, he can learn more about his RØDECaster, and that's why, but again, here everybody's a learner.
There was no money involved. I think it's fine.
That's right. If anybody wants to do their
Glenn,
troubleshoot,
yet.
Is he setting us up, Sean?
Yeah.
I only have 31 subscribers. It'll be a long while.
I do have a quick question before Andy jumps off, because this is something that you and I ran into a few weeks ago, John, when we first started doing this. And I know they're working on a lot of the stuff to make creation of streams even easier with Ecamm with the Zoom integration. But when it comes to if I'm in John's live stream right now, he's producing his live stream from his Ecamm account, and he is pulling my video feed from my Ecamm, whatever I'm publishing in my Ecamm account. Is there a world where we get to a point where I can send John a video feed that is separate from what I'm actually sending out live? So I could essentially create my own. If I want to restream this session on my own YouTube channel or help promote this through my own channels, I can produce my own show in my Ecamm session, but still send John a clean video feed of me for his live stream.
Oh, man.
It's also late.
NDI.
Oh, NDI.
NDI. Okay.
Not that I could think of really as far as from Ecamm going, because they only have the one output canvas, so you wouldn't be able to send it. Essentially what you could do is change your camera in Zoom. So right now what it's doing is behind the scenes is it selects your Ecamm live virtual camera. So if I wanted to, I could select a different camera in Zoom. And so I could have my own production going on my Ecamm, but instead of sending that to John through Zoom, I could switch and just go to my camera. I don't have as much control because I'm losing all of my color correction and zoom and pan and stuff like that. but you could do that too.
Yeah, and if you do NDI, you would just get signal.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to keep my Ecamm.
No. The reason why I said NDI, the reason why I said NDI is probably if you want to do that, right? Hey, Charles, behind your printer, I could see that green. There's a dead spot over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, but the reason why I was saying NDI is probably you have like 2 different computers that you could run it that way. Then you could run the NDI from one computer to the other computer if you want to
over your network. Separate.
Yeah, over your network if you want to do that separate, which is going to be a lot of work though.
So what's Sebastian saying from YouTube? I think that with Restream, you can share with everyone on the live show their own individual shots.
Yeah. I know that Restream has what they call like sharing pairs or whatever. So in other words, I could essentially restream it on your show on my channel. But Ecamm doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah. Yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought on Ecamm when you're on the Pro version, it allows you to stream.
You can multi-stream your
multi-stream.
So if I take the stream key from Charles, then
Charles? Yes.
Yeah, you could with the stream key, or if I were to make you manager, I think owner on my YouTube or whatever, then you could stream on my YouTube too. But that's how you would get around that.
So Charles, can I get your stream keys?
Nope.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Absolutely not. Love you, knee, but no.
Why? What did you do, Charles? Like you're out of sync? And all that. Well, it's probably you were messing with your.
Probably.
Well, I don't know if I'm out of sync or not.
No,
when I was switching. Well, now I may be out of sync on Zoom, but I may not be on the live stream.
I am
because I will tell you, like, Nee is in sync on Zoom,
but
he's out of sync on live stream.
So we all should just go like Sean and put the microphone.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what.
That's right. That's right. That's the reason why he does it. And Andy does that too. Oh my goodness! This has been so much fun.
So I could cover my lips, also.
This is the reason why I wanted to start this.
He's figuring out all my secrets now.
This is the reason why I want to start this channel, is because of the conversations that we're all able to have, the questions that we ask, and then pick everybody's brain. Doesn't matter you're a beginner or an audio engineer like Sean, or somebody who's producing podcasts. Andy too has a lot of experience. Some of us are newer. Charles has some experience too, but Nee does. I just think it's an awesome space. So if you all are watching this and wanted to be part of this, come earlier so that when the 8 slots full, no, we can swap you out. It's not like you can't have more than 8 people. You can still have more than 8 people. I just need to manage who the 8 people we're seeing at that time and hearing at that time.
So it's only 8, but
yes,
you can still have 8 video and then rest audio.
With my setup, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and so like, hold on, I can quickly do this again.
Okay. Yeah, screen share.
I'll make it quick, I promise. So this is the Zoom, and since I joined in Ecamm, I see the same thing that John does. So like I'm seeing all of the guests, and if I want to add, Charles, I can add, and then his video shows up. So
because it says 3 streams now. Okay.
Right, and so then what I can then do, if there's more than 8 people, I'll see all 100 people in here, and then I just have to switch and choose. If I'm full of 8 and I want to go to someone else, I just remove from camera, and then I can choose somebody else, a different person, and then add them in there.
So you could kind of cheat. That brings in cheat if you screen share and kind of zoom in, but you would just see the picture of more than 8 people. Yeah.
Well, so what I'm actually looking at a different way. So if you had 10 people that you wanted on camera with John's setup where he can pull the audio in, so you don't have to worry about the audio, you just need to worry about the video. If I pulled in 5 guests on my camera feed, so I set up my layout where there's 5 of us. John sets up his camera feed where there's 5 of us. We could have 10 guests and all audio on one stream.
That's true.
Yeah. Yes. And now if you really, really, really want to get crazy, the interview mode in Ecamm allows 10 guests. So you could do 10 guests plus your 8 Zoom guests for a total of 18.
Only on your machine, because I have an M1 machine it won't handle.
Well, I don't think I'd work on mine either. Mine's an M1.
Would that be
I don't know that my
Andy?
M3 would like that very much.
Interview mode
video,
would...
Yeah, that'd be video too.
So you could do 18.
You could.
Yes.
It would be nuts, but you could do it.
If you have a strong enough machine,
with my
you can
M4.
do 18.
With my M4.
Yes. If you have your M4 machine,
if your
yes.
machine doesn't melt down first.
With 300 gigs of RAM. Yeah.
I saw what you did right there with your M4. Is it a... Never mind. Hey, I have a question for Sean.
Okay.
Go for it.
Can you let your hair down?
Look, he thinks he thought about it. Look at his face. He thought about it.
Next week.
Okay. Teaser.
Tease. Next week. I'll come without the hat next week.
Oh my goodness. Well, I really had a lot of fun. I'm so glad we actually get to test everything out tonight, including hitting the max users for my Zoom call, and my computer's still running. My Stream Deck is still running. I was not able to pay attention to the chat.
No fan going on?
The fan is going, but it's
okay.
It's with SM7B and everything, it's not picking up. Well, the M1 machine, even with fan running, it's not that bad. Oh my gosh, Charles, don't make me confused. Charles always does that. Picture in picture.
Pips. So
thanks everybody. We'll call this a night. And anybody have any final thoughts? No, Andy's doing it too.
Andy's doing it worse. Andy's getting crazier with it than I was.
Anybody have any final thoughts? We'll go around the room or mention your YouTube channel or anything. I saw some of you already mentioned in the chat. We'll start with the grid. I'll go with Andy first.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is just Podcast Answers. So youtube.com/@podcastanswers, where I answer podcasting questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time, and you're welcome anytime to the RØDECaster Pro user meetup or to this one, anytime you want to join us. And Sean?
YouTube, we're working on it, but you can go to armedia.ca. We do post-production for podcasts, audiobooks. We do it in stereo. We do it in Dolby Atmos. We do imaging, and you get broadcast quality audio. That's what we do. armedia.ca.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I have 3, but we're not doing anything with them yet. So.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Glenn?
I have my personal YouTube account doesn't really have a channel, but a couple of the podcasts I'm setting up, I've already set up YouTube channels for them. One of them's a little more active. It's the one I'm doing on coins and coin collecting. It's called Bourse Sizzle, BOURSE, Bourse Sizzle, just SIZZLE. And so that's kind of set up. It has a little trailer. If you want to watch me for a minute and a half, go ahead and do it. So yeah, that's the one that because I have a channel set up for that.
And feel free, if you have more than one channel that you want to, because it's easier for me to tag you all, it's just go to the chat when this live stream is done. It's already be out there. So you can go to the chat and just from your different accounts, drop a message in there and say hi. And then suddenly I have your account as well. But thank you, Glenn, for hanging out with us. I didn't expect you to spend so many, the whole time with us. Thank you so much. And
hey.
Yes, what?
You couldn't keep me away from a sound check session.
Yay! Come back anytime. You're welcome anytime. Just come back. At least if we have more than 8 people, at least we can hear your voice. Charles, your turn.
My turn. All right. It was great having Andy here. Really appreciate it. You can find me on YouTube at Get Pinnacle AI. we do software and services. So we run a company that's all about helping you automate and scale through automation and AI. That's what we do. But I'm a huge audio and video junkie. Started out in theater. So yeah, really enjoyed the show tonight. Loved seeing all the people in here and taxing John's machine.
My M1 machine. Yes.
So is that Pinnacle? Yeah. Get Pinnacle Apple Intelligence? Is that what it stands for?
That's what I was going to say.
but I'm all for Apple Intelligence. I'm excited about it. I'm kind of like Andy. I'm beta everything. So I'm developer beta on all my devices, including my watch.
Oh, your cat is making an appearance.
Yeah.
Again. Oh,
yeah.
Every time we get to
he's hanging out here. He's like, "What the heck are you doing?" What?
So, Arthur, I'm so sorry we didn't get to talk to you much.
No, I didn't have much to say, actually, and I was listening intently and learning a lot. I have a YouTube presence, we'll call it. It's not really active, and this is one of the reasons I'm here, because I want to get up to speed on a lot of the stuff from you guys. I've been waiting to hit that start button for a while, and I know sort of the age-old thing, just do it, just get it rolling. But what I do is teach English online. I've been doing that in Clubhouse for a few years. It's Authors English. That's what it's all about, where I talk to people all over the world improving their English in different aspects of the English language. And then we dive into not only the English language, but all aspects of learning. This is another reason why I like your channel, Learner to Learner, because that's kind of what we're about as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Lovely to have you. And I'm sure maybe next week it might be even more applicable for you to see, like on the backside of how we get, if we were to start a show, how do we use Ecamm Live to actually produce something like what the Pizza Club is wanting to do. So that might be something fun for you to watch also next week. And Michael Fox.
Thanks, Sean. First of all, thank you, Andy, for making time to be here and answering questions. I really appreciate that. And hope you'll come back for sure. And yeah, that's really cool. I'm for my work stuff, I'm actually the beach.nyc or the beach NYC on Instagram for my video production agency. I actually do food video content for brands and agencies in that space. But on the Clubhouse world, you can find me on Pizza Club and on YouTube. I Need Pizza Club on Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, check us out. We're posting shows. We do on in our peak, we do about 5 shows a week. That's kind of comes and goes. Lately it's more like 2 or 3 maybe at best. We do a show, but pretty consistently every Monday night on Clubhouse at 9:00 Eastern, and then on YouTube Live on Thursday nights at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and then we jump over to Clubhouse for an after show. So yeah, excited to continue the conversation about all things Ecamm, because I think it'd be nice to be able to integrate the two communities, and we're excited to do that.
And what I found.
Michael.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Sorry. Michael, so would you say you're in the area of remote live production?
Remote live production, not as much really since the pandemic, but I have done some of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for video, you're talking about, yeah.
Okay.
What I was gonna say was that when I was able to do more regularly and do without like taxing my brain. I mean, I did a little bit tonight. We have so many people. When the tools are taking care of a lot of the friction, then it makes it a lot more enjoyable for me, because it's not just about producing the show. For me, it's the whole interaction, the learning and all that. So I want to do it enough time so that I can do it easily, that I become second nature, so that I can focus on the actual interaction with everybody. So hopefully when you find the right software and software combination, hardware, to do the show, live stream it for you, combining different platforms, maybe you'll go back to 5 days a week. Well, another thing is probably scheduled too, right? Getting everybody ready to do that. What about you? Annyeonghaseyo.
Hey, so I guess everybody's saying thanks to Andy, so I must also say thanks, Andy. If I don't, I wouldn't be. No. I don't.
You'll get canceled if you don't.
Yeah, I'll get canceled. Because I got one of the biggest YouTube channels in the whole world. My organization. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have it. I just have a YouTube page, and I just like watching YouTube. So. You could find me over here if I'm not hanging out with John. And probably I'm working, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks everybody.
We got to get you some AC, man.
Are you sweating?
Very soon.
The Ecamm Live people are putting up their channel name and all that in there because it's quick and easy. So thanks so much for. And put in your comments in there too, and that will allow me to get everybody mentioned so you know where to find us. So we'll see you next week. Next week we're gonna talk to Michael Fox and see how we can, if we were to use Ecamm Live, how we're gonna do what they want to do. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.
I'll be coming in with my binaural headphones in the middle of Seoul.
Make sure you
hear the noise.
Make sure you enable original. Actually, no.
Nice.
Wait, one last question. One more thing, like Apple. Andy, do you know this? I know we can bring Zoom callers in and have them enable, which I did on last week, how to turn on original sound, but I don't think it is stereo. Is that correct?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so maybe I'll test it out too, because what I'm trying to do is the reason why we need to do original sound for Zoom is so that we can sound check them properly, right? If we can't hear them
right now, John, I'll play something from Spotify. You tell me if it's stereo.
Oh, are you coming in through USB? How are you?
I'm DLZ. I'm using the DLZ.
But
right
are you on
the
phone? Are you on the? Oh,
no. I'm not on Clubhouse at all.
Then no, we can't test it that way because we know that through computer, yes, you can for sure. But we want to test to see if you're on your phone. Let's say if I'm not sure if Atlas on your phone or not, because his phone is connected through his DLZ creator, which means he's capable of doing stereo.
I can Bluetooth it now.
But I'm not sure if the Zoom app, because I thought I've heard somewhere, I don't know whether that's changed or not, when you do original sound on your iOS device, you might be sending your original sound, but it might be mono. It's what I'm guessing.
Why Andy
I
doesn't
believe
know?
so. Yeah. I think it is.
Because it actually, when you enable it, does not say you're on stereo. It just says you're on original sound. It does not say
You want to know
stereo.
why Andy doesn't know the answer to that, John?
Why?
Because the show is over.
Well, we'll find out. And if you have any sources or confirmation, I have a feeling it might not be. I think
I don't think it is because I was testing it today, and I pumped some music through, and
it's coming through.
It was still mono.
Mono, okay, all right. So, but we can at least hear the original sound. We just can't test anything that's stereo related. Which truly, in this world, nobody wants to test stereo but me. I'm the only one that's stereo crazy.
And me.
And you. Okay. All right. Thank you for real this time. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.